A new state law raises questions about the role of police and the best way to maintain safety inside schools. The rules for school resource officers have changed. New legislation wrapped up in last year's education bill prohibits officers from using some physical holds. Some officers in our area are considering getting out of schools. Emily Haugen explains what's different and how local departments are responding.
How's it going? In schools, a resource officer can be a bridge.
Schools in general are microcosms of our community.
In those spaces, an SRO can also be a mediator.
There's mental health situations, there's fights, there's crimes, all those things needing a first responder and or police officer.
Brooklyn Park Police Chief Mark Bruley says his department has officers in its upper-level schools. Officers are trained to use force if necessary.
For some schools, we didn't have any incidents last year. In other schools, we had 2 or 3 use of force incidents in the entire year.
Very infrequent.
In Maple Grove, Police Chief Eric Werner sees similarly low numbers. He credits that to an SRO presence.
And what we're trying to do is through those relationships and collaboration, hopefully we don't have to use force.
Minnesota's sweeping education bill now says officers can't use prone restraint or other physical holds on students unless someone's life is at risk.
I'm trying to understand what were we trying to solve with this change.
Governor Walz spoke in favor of the legislation in mid-August.
I certainly think we should all agree that we should not kneel on the necks of students unless someone's life is at risk, and that is written into the law to be able to do that.
Officers across the state, including Werner's office, were confused.
So we're trying to use the least amount of force as possible. Now we have this higher standard of force and we have a second standard.
The police chiefs we spoke with's main concern, law enforcement, was not consulted.
We have a piece of legislation that was made without involvement of public safety, particularly our associations.
Officers also say the guideline isn't clear.
They were so confusing, so poorly written that they were impossible to interpret what the impact was.
The Minnesota Chiefs of Police Association asked the state to clarify. Attorney General Keith Ellison shared an opinion clarifying that bill. He says officers, quote, may use reasonable force to restrain a student to prevent bodily harm or death to the student or another, unquote.
Without the Attorney General's opinion, I would not have sent SROs back into the school.
Bruley says this clarification is helpful, but it doesn't solve everything.
The law has to be rewritten, to be honest with you. The truth is, they should be doing it right now in a special session. That's what should happen.
Now, police chiefs are asking for more clarity in cases of state law violations that don't risk bodily harm or death.
Less than a week before school starts, get them retrained in what those standards are.
The school year is almost here, and some officers are still deciding.
We've committed to keeping our SRO program. However, we met with our SROs as of yesterday, and we're waiting to see if they want to make the decision to return to the schools.
And for some, not returning is a possibility. Emily Haugen, CCX News.
Republicans in St. Paul issued a statement this week asking the governor to meet for a special session about the SRO topic.
Find more local news stories at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.